Hello, good evening, this is Diecast Loon. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to episode 12 of Vintage Matchbox Mondays. And as I mentioned yesterday, shall I say, in a previous video, I had no new cars to show for this week's episode. I've run out of cars, or at least I've run out of new pieces to show. And I haven't picked anything up today either. So I thought for this week's episode, I would just pick out some random cars from my vintage collection and show some random pieces from my collection, basically. And the pieces I've picked out about 6 or 7 cars, and they're all cars that I got this year, this summer gone, from Car Boot. Most of my cars, the majority of my vintage pieces, come from Car Boot sales. Yes, I do get quite a lot of pieces from flea markets and like charity shops and other bits and bobs, and occasionally I get some from eBay. 9 times out of 10 if they're from eBay, they're presents that people have bought for me, but like I said, the bulk of my cars come from Car Boot sales. So that is what I'm going to be showing this evening, just some of the pieces I got from this year from Car Boot. So that's what we're going to be looking at in a minute. But the car that's in the background, the reason this one's out is because someone mentioned in the comments, I think it was last week, asked me what is my basically favorite vintage piece, if I have a favorite vintage piece in my collection. And it's quite difficult because I've got about 4 or 5 cars in my vintage collection that are would be right up there, but this one is probably right near the top, and it is the wildlife truck, number 57 wildlife truck, and it is a Rollermatics, and it's in pretty much near mint condition. I do have the box to it, which is here, which is a little bit tatty, but at least it's all there. And this was a present from my partner about a year ago. I have shown it before, but the reason I like this car so much is just purely because as a kid I had this one and I just really like playing with it. I don't know what it is about it. I was quite a young boy, but my partner managed to find me one in, like I said, pretty much near mint condition, as it has got one little chip there, but it has got its lion and its glass canopy, which are usually always missing. As you can see when you push it forwards, obviously the camera's picking it up, it does spin round, but it is in lovely condition. Like I said, it's just something about this car I really like, so I just thought I'd show this first. Like I said, I can't remember, you'll have to forgive me who it was that actually asked me this question, but I just thought I would show it anyway. So that is very much up there with one of my favourite pieces, and like I said, it is quite a common piece, actual fact. What isn't, what makes this not so common is, like I said, 9 times out of 10 they aren't in this condition, and they've not got everything here. I've got quite a few of these, actual fact, in my collection that are ready to be restored at some point. So anyway, so that's that. So like I said, that's one of my favourite pieces, if not near the top, just from nostalgia. So anyway, we'll get straight into it and we'll take a look at the first piece that's to hand. And this is one I found at Car Boot. I did pay a couple of pounds for this, it wasn't expensive, and it is the Matchbox series number 42 Studebaker, and it is, if I can get it, Lark Wagoneer. I can't quite got a bit of reflection going on there, but it is in pretty nice condition. Not too bad. It's got most of these chips I would have thought happened probably when the Car Boot seller was putting it away each week and being put out, because they look quite fresh. They're not aged. You can tell when something, the die cast, it sort of tones over time if it's an older flea bite, so to speak. So this isn't mint, but it is in very nice condition, especially from this side. It would have had a man that would have stood in the back. I think he had a gun, and I think it also came with a dog as well, if I remember right. Yeah, a little hunting dog, which would have come as part of it, but obviously they're long since gone. But the vehicle is very nice, and again, that, like I said, came from car boot sale this year. And most of these pieces have been shown, but it's still nice to look at them every now and again. This is another particular favourite, and again, these are quite hard to find for not a lot of money. Again, I got a funny feeling I paid £4 for this, quite a random price. Yeah, again, yes, it's got some flea bites and some dings. Actual fact, now I've pulled it out of the bag, it's actually in tattier condition than I realised. But again, it doesn't bother me, because I don't mind cars. It's nice to have them mint. I do like them when they're mint, but at the same time, I'm not fussed if they're a little bit tatty, or as I like to call them, this isn't quite survivor car condition, it's nearly survivor car condition, but it is, the wheels are nice. So it is the Lincoln Continental, I know that. So it is, a little look, Matchbox series number 31, Lincoln Continental. Could do a bit of a clean up, but this was the first year, I believe, it went from super fast. Before this, it used to be on the normal plastic black wheels, and then I think it was 69, 70, they changed to the super fast wheels. There's opening feature, and like I said, still the suspension still works, still rolls quite nice. But like I said, very displayable, because when you put it into the display, you don't see the few chips on top. So that's pretty cool, and again, wasn't expensive. Next one, this is another one I had as a kid. Again, not this one, but it is the, where is it to? Matchbox Superfast, and it is the Blaze Buster. Is that number 22? Yeah, number 22, Blaze Buster. And again, this is one that was another one that I had as a child, or the same sort anyway. And again, it's not mint, but it is not bad. Still has its fire stickers. So, and a weighty piece. Yeah, you know, this is one you didn't want to get lobbed at you as a kid. Loads of suspension. And again, it's funny how these survive. You know, the wheels have not hardly got a mark on them. And I do believe that a lot of these cars do just get, you know, chucked about when they're being sold. You know, the sellers just chuck them back in their boxes. So that is pretty cool. And the glass ain't too bad either, actually, now I'm looking at it. So that is the Blaze Buster. And then another one we got, again, this was not expensive, I think this was a couple of £2, and it is the Matchbox series number 56 BMC 1800. So Pininfarina. But anyway, now as far as I remember, this was a concept car. I'm not quite sure if this actually did go into production. It looks like a production car, but I'm sure this was a concept car. It's almost very much Citroen looking, very Citroen like. I'm sure this is didn't go into, I can't remember if this went into production or not. But like I said, not expensive, not in too bad a condition. I actually have 2 or 3 of these, all in about the same condition, which is quite strange, but pretty cool. And like I said, not expensive. And this is another particularly cool piece. This is obviously a newer Matchbox. This isn't as vintage, but it's still vintage. So a little look, if we can get past the reflection. So it is a Land Rover. It's based on the Defender 90, and obviously it is in police livery, as you can see, Metropolitan Police, but in quite nice condition. And again, these are quite collectible. I don't know how many I've got in my collection of these sort of these types of things. I've probably got about 8 or 9 now in different variations. If I thought about it, I could have done a variation video. Perhaps if I don't find much to look at next week, I could do a variation video, because like myself, I've got at least 8 or 9 of these, all in quite nice condition. And I've actually got some of them, because they still make this casting, they still actually release it, obviously with the different wheels now, but I have got some modern examples of this. So again, there's a couple of quid. Most of these have all been between a quid and a couple of quid. I think the most expensive one here was like I said, was that Lincoln for some reason, but pretty cool. And then I think, I can't know if I shouldn't have, no, it's not this one. So I'm just getting confused. I thought I showed this fairly recently, but I think I showed one similar to this. So this is the Matchbox series number 75 Alpha Carabo. And why is this ringing a bell? Perhaps I got one of these the other week. I can't remember now, but it wasn't this one I've recently shown. I know that. Might have been another one like it. But anyway, it is in quite nice condition. Again, wasn't expensive. Possibly a couple of pounds. I can't remember. Not a lot. But pretty cool. And it's got that typical 70s vibe about it. It's got some scratch on the windows. But again, it's in too nice a condition to do anything to it. So pretty cool. And the last piece for today, I do like this, is I believe this is the refuse truck. So there's a little look. So Matchbox series number 7 refuse truck, and I think this is made from about, I have to leave the date, I've forgotten. I think this is about 63 to 65. I can't remember now, because obviously it does have the super fast wheels on it. So they did do an earlier version, but I will leave the official date as my brain has switched off. So you have to forgive me. But again, this wasn't expensive. Now this one, I know I paid about 50p for this. This was in the 50p box, and I thought it was too good to be in the 50p box, because again, most of the times when you find these, the whole back's missing or this metal piece is missing, but it is all there and it still functions quite nicely, which is pretty cool, as you can see. And I'm just trying to figure out if I've got the modern version here. Let me have a little quick look if I've got the modern version too. And I'm back, and I've found a couple of variations. But yeah, so this one was 66, I believe, to 1970, this particular one. And they did do one, an earlier one. I think they did 2 before this, if I remember rightly. So this is the 3rd iteration, but they did do two older versions of refuse truck. This is based on the Ford truck, and the other variations that I've got, or just refuse trucks. So there's this one, which is, I believe, from about the late 70s, maybe 80s, but it is in particularly good condition. And funnily enough, I got this year as well, but this is one I had as a kid. Not this particular one, just exactly the same. So obviously this one has the moving part, so to speak. And there you go, 1979. But that is in remarkably good condition. And again, this wasn't expensive. I think this was like £1 or something stupid like that. So, and it is virtually, well, it's mint, pretty much mint. And then and even though this is vintage Matchbox Mondays, I just thought I'd show the modern, up-to-date equivalent of what's being put out now. And it is pretty cool, but has no opening parts, unfortunately. So there is different eras of refuse truck, or bin lorry over here in the UK. We call them, or dust carts. So that's pretty cool. And then the last piece I'm going to show, just trying to clip the back on, is this really cool little red Ford F100, was F150 pickup or F100 pickup. So a little look, upside down as usual. There you go, Matchbox series number 6 Ford, just says Ford pickup, but I think this is based on the F100, I think. But again, in not bad condition at all. This does pull off, and you can either have it that way or as I look, or this, I think this is the proper way. But again, this was found at Car Boot. I think this was the most expensive one. I think I paid a £5 for this, if I remember rightly. £5, but I didn't mind, because when you look at the condition of the base and the wheels, and it still has the back piece on, the glass isn't scratched too bad, the front grill's nice. It wasn't a bad deal at all. But anyway, with that is this week's episode. A bit random, I know, but still some pretty cool pieces. They are out there on your doorstep. You know, if you go to different car boot sales and flea markets and charity shops, and you can find stuff on your doorstep in mint condition. I'm just looking to hand if I've got any mint examples. I found this. I'm not going to open it now, but I found this on my doorstep. But it is literally, oh, that's right, it is like new, as you can see. So you can find them on your doorstep. You don't have to always go to eBay. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more vintage pieces, wheel swaps, customs, premium pieces, challenge videos, and all that good stuff to come. And with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.